Alan, thanks for joining us. Bank holiday weekend. Before we get started, have you had time for a break? It's been a month or so since the end of the season now, hasn't it? Have you been able to chill out a bit, relax?
Not really, not really. It's on the go constantly, and obviously after such a disappointing end, it was back to work the next day, trying to look at what went wrong, how we could put it right, and how we could replace some of the players that I knew would be leaving. It was inevitable. I knew back in January, maybe it's December time, when we offered new contracts out to Pervs and Jack, that we weren't going to be able to keep them. And I think that probably affected quite a bit of the performances when you look back on that, because I don't think they were anywhere near and I'm not being disrespectful to the lads, they weren't anywhere near what they were in the first half of the season. And that maybe tells you a little story of where their heads were at that moment in time. And we just, as I say, it was disappointing, massively disappointing not to get the job done, not we wanted to try and finish in the playoffs. But it's one of them that bugged us massively, but you've got to take it on the chin at the end of the day. And I've got to look at players that want to be here, want to play here, want to try and get in them playoffs with Darlington. And my first protocol was to find a midfielder, and I knew straight away Tom was top of the list. Tom Platt was top of the list, and I wanted him in from day one, and we worked extremely hard on getting that job done. And there'll be more, but it was, as I say, it was a disappointing end. I haven't had much of a break, 2 or 3 days here and there. But in between that, I've got to try and fit my family life in, and believe me, it's extremely tough. But we haven't stopped working, that's a certainty.
Well, it comes around fast, doesn't it, football? That's the thing. And before we do know it, we'll be forgetting all about last season and starting to look forward to next season. And the month of May for Darlington fans is largely all around booster budget. So Darlington fans love booster budget in the sense of the pride that we get from it. So talk to us a little bit about what difference that makes. So the booster budget money that comes in and what you can do with that compared to what you'd be able to do without it.
If we never had booster budget, Stuart, we wouldn't be at this level. That's being truthful. We would have a budget probably mid-table of the league below, maybe even the league below that. Believe honestly, it really is that much that impacts our football club. And I see people have a go at the club about it and stuff, but I don't think they understand what this club is, and that the fans out there own the club. It's their club. It's no one else's club. We haven't got anyone tipping money in. We've got people looking after it. And what people have got to remember, the most important thing in this is the club. It's not about me. It's not about the players. Not about the fans. It's the club being here and being sustainable throughout. And as much as it hurts me, as much as it might hurt the fans, we've got to stay by that. We've been through the mill too many times as football club, and we want to leave this club in a better place than what it was. And I believe we've done that with the money that we've brought in since I've been here, the 4 years I've been here. The money that we've brought in on player sales and cup runs is nearly up to 400,000, and that's paid off a hell of a lot of debt that this club had from previous regimes. So it bugs me, because I could have had that money myself. But listen, that's where we are as a club, and I bought into it. I'm still buying into it, and I might have been so dour and disappointed at the end of the season, but I'm a fan like yourselves. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to get disappointed when things aren't going well, and I'm probably too honest. I am. That's probably one of my biggest downfalls. I'm too honest with people, and I probably show too much honesty and emotion in the videos. But that's who I am. Unfortunately, I can't change that. And what would you rather have? Someone who's going to lie through the back teeth there, or someone who's honest and tells you how it is? And that's the way I am. And I want to try and help the club. And as much as it must bug some people, it really must, because I'm still here. But I'm trying to do it the right way. I'm not going crying for money constantly. And say the money we brought in, I think we said well over budget by 60 grand last year. And the money we brought in for Becky and the trophy run covered that. So it's not as if I'm going out and splashing all the money. It's I'm trying to stay within what we've got. And I think a lot of people have got to understand that. As frustrating it is for me, I'm sure it is frustrating for them, but that's the way this club is.
Well, thinking about, I had a quick look at booster budget beforehand, and the target gets higher every year for the fans to try and raise, and so far they've managed to do it. So when I looked this evening, 113,760 with 3 full days left. We always have a little bit of a flurry towards the end, but you know what, it's not out of the realms of possibility that they might make the 150. You know, I think they'll be close.
I'll be surprised if they don't, because like you said, everyone loves that last few days where they go on and they push it and they want to be that person to get it over the edge. And we'll need it. I'm telling you now, we will need it to strengthen the squad. The budget's not what it was last year, and it's lower than what it has been in previous years. But we'll keep working with it, and I'm trying to bring quality players in. As again, there's not going to be a lot of quantity. There's going to be hopefully quality players coming in, and I say the lads that we've kept on board have took reductions to stay here, and that's because they believe in what we're doing at the football club. So I've got to give kudos to them as well. So listen, the fans have got to, I know they've got to trust us, and probably we haven't said enough during this last month or so, but it's because we've been working and we've got our private lives as well to deal with that in between that. But it's not as if we've been sitting on our backsides doing anything. There's been a lot of work going on behind the scenes.
So if I look at the players, I hope I haven't missed anybody off here, but I was trying to jot them down to make sure I didn't miss anyone. So from last year, Tommy Taylor, Ben Headley, Jazz Sukar, Jake Lawler, Adriano Moke, Jacob Hazel, Kane Felix. And then since then, Jarrett Rivers has extended, Andrew Nelson has extended. Then you got Tom Platt coming into that. So you got there's a good base to work with there, isn't there?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It wasn't a massive rebuild that we needed. Yes, we've lost some quality players, don't get us wrong. There's no way I want to use Jack Lambert. That's a certainty. There's no way I want to lose him. But I think that's another strength in the board of this football club, that it keeps developing players and moving them on. Unfortunately, never got the money this time. But there wasn't any offers for him in January. Simple as that. It was what it was, and we knew what would happen. But the squad I've got there are still all quality players that were top of the league at the start at Christmas. And we've just got to backfill them with the quality, and the start that we've had when the backfilling is obviously bringing Tom Platt in, who I believe, for me, is one of the best in the league in that central midfield position, especially defensively and sitting in front of the back four. I really do believe he's a massive addition, because we sometimes lack that real strength and height in the middle of the park. We get out muscled quite a bit because of the way we like to play, and Tom will add that to our game.
And what's as well as Tom then coming in, we're looking forward to watching him. What's the sort of type of player that's on your shopping list, type of thing, on your wish list? What other areas of the pitch are you trying to sort of prioritise?
I'm sure everyone knows what we're looking for. We need another centre forward, a big centre forward alongside Hayes or alongside Nella, whoever's playing up there. We may play the three of them, and we need another centre half who hopefully will have one done and dusted by tomorrow. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. I say we've been working on it. Full back position, the left back position needs sorting, and we need to find another Jack Lambert. As simple as that. So we're speaking to Ben Little constantly. We're waiting for the decision on him. Like I said, some of the lads that we've give contract to, the likes of Jazz and likes of Griff and people like that, Nella, the terms that they've offered have been reduced because of the budget. Simple as that. And they've stayed on board. They could easily went elsewhere, but they've stayed on board because they believe in what we're doing. So I'm quite happy with what we've got. But the list that I wanted, everyone's got a top list. It's a little bit different to what I can afford, unfortunately. But I've got to look hard, and I've got to keep pushing. I will keep pushing. Believe me. I wouldn't be a football manager, and I wouldn't be doing my job if I wasn't keep pushing the board to try and strengthen with better players and ask the questions of the board. Can we get some more? Can we do this? But again, I'll always ask a question, whether I get me here or not. I'm not going to spit my dummy out about it. We're just going to get on with it and roll the sleeves up and crack on. But it's, as I say, I'll go back to booster budget. It's massive, and the fans have done fantastic. Every year it gets bigger and bigger, and I think that's because players' wages are going up constantly, Stu. Every time I speak to players this year, the starting point is just rose massively. I spoke to a couple of managers, and them are saying exactly the same because of the cost of living crisis. The starting point now is just gone through the roof, and the players that you used to be able to get for your squad players aren't cheap anymore, unfortunately. And hence that's why I think we've asked for a little bit more from booster budget. And it sounds harsh during this time because fans are going through the cost of living as well. But I think that's what's so special about this club is there's not just one man putting the money in. There's hundreds There's hundreds, so you're never going to fall short. If someone can afford it this year, someone else might step up and be able to afford it. And that, I think that's what makes it so special in a way. Is not someone can easily pull the money at any other football club and you're gone. And that's it. And you might not get paid some weeks because someone's decided that they've got a cash flow with their business. But this club, you've got hundreds of investors, or shall I say not investors, hundreds of fantastic fans that constantly put the money in just to see their team play on a Saturday, whether it be good performance, bad performance, indifferent, hurl abuse it with sometimes, praise with sometimes, and that's what it is, and that's the enjoyment that you get from it. And it's my job to try and make that as exciting as possible for the fans, to be honest. And we were there. It was just, I wish we'd just been able to keep that squad together. But I say that's just the way I was, probably being a bit greedy.
Still just a point here, point there, though, wasn't it, at the end of the year? And you're right about the fans. It's passion, it's love for the club, isn't it? And that's why emotions come out sometimes. But that's because they love the club, they love the people, they love the community of it. That's why people get so stuck in.
It is, and as I say, I got carried away this year with it. I really did, because of, I think you've probably seen me demeanour during the second half of the season. I got carried away because we're that close. But the most important thing is, I've spoken to someone most recently, and the most important thing is the club. That's it. It's got to be. Yeah, there's no point in, I'll be honest, if we went up, it would be a hell of a struggle. But it'll not stop me trying. It won't stop me trying. I'm not here to sit around. I'm not happy with mid-table. Players aren't happy with mid-table. Fans aren't happy. So the board aren't happy. We still want to give it a go. But yeah, you need your funds to do that. But sometimes you might not need your funds. Look at Luton and Coventry in the Championship, and the lowest budgets, and then we've got it does happen. It does happen. But I think keeping the squad together for the full season is the hardest part for us as a football club. And I've never done it once. Since I've been here. I've always lost a player during the January, unfortunately, and it has a massive effect. I think the fans even see that.
I'll not keep you up all night, because I could happily talk all night, but I'll not. But one thing I was just thinking before we wrap up, and then maybe finish back on Booster Budget again to conclude, is like I'm not sure if this will be your fourth season.
Yeah, the fourth one.
The fourth season, then the one with Blythe. Before that, if you take sort of the playing squad out of it and just look at what makes teams successful on the pitch, like the type of player or the type of style, you got, like, would you say it's easy to put your finger on that now? Because you've been in the league for like years and years. You must look at what the good teams do and what they do. And I know you've got your files and your full-time team and stuff like that, but
it's, you know what you want, you know what would fit. And I'll go back to last year. We had a mix of everything. I think we were 2 players shy last year, in all honesty, of being a really, really, really top team. And that's the bit where I had to grit my teeth and bite my tongue and get on with it. And because you were that close, you look at, we had the mix of the pace up top, with the creativity, with the strength, with the goal scoring. Yeah, the energy in the middle of the park. But I think that's where we were missing someone like Tom Platt, which I brought in. Centre half, we never got that big leader of big weeks through his injury. We never had that moment where we had that solidity there of someone organising that back line, unfortunately. And as I say, we know what we need, and there's going to be a mix of it coming in this year, hopefully, fingers crossed. But there's not going to be a hell of a lot of players coming in. Like I say, due to the budget, we'll just keep working on what we've got. And see, there's not massive difference that we need. We don't need a massive overhaul. We just need to add a little bit of quality. And as I say, I think the start that we've done is pretty decent.
Yeah, good. And we forget all about last season, because you know what, we'll be there in August, and me and you and all of the fans will be optimistic as heck again. You get through the summer, you get the lads in pre-season, presumably in a month or so, whatever that might be.
Yeah.
First day, everyone will be optimistic again.
No, they'll be back 24th, 23rd of June, something like that. Sad that we've got them in. I think Hayes might be on international duty. He's wearing St. Kitts, so he's on international duty. So he might miss some of pre-season because he'll need a break himself after being away on international duty. But again, opportunity for others to get themselves in the wind in that starting 11. But like you say, you just start again. even the teams that got in the playoffs and failed in the playoffs. You look at Kings Lynn, I'm expecting them to be up there. You look at Scunny, who've just come down, who literally are throwing the kitchen sink at it at this moment in time, and probably putting a lot of clubs like us thinking, why aren't we signing players like that? But as I say, we weren't. It's not a total rebuild we need, and we will have a good go in the summer, get the lads fit, and we'll need the fans like we do every year. Need them to get behind. There'll be ups and downs without a doubt, but we'll give it a good go and see where that takes us. And I'll probably be knocking on the door again asking for more money. But it's like I say, that's the way we are as a football club. And I would just love, all I ask for this year, even though some of the players that I'm bringing in might want to move on, is just keep a full squad. Just keep the full squad throughout the season and see where that takes. I think the last time I kept the full squad was with Blythe, went off in the playoffs. So it can be done, but you do need to if you don't keep the full squad, you need to strengthen with quality. And unfortunately, the quality in January costs a hell of a lot more money than what it does now. That's a certainty. But that's it. We'll just keep going and we'll keep trying. And as I say, the fans have been superb. I was just so disappointed at the end of the season. Everyone probably seen in the interview, Stu, that I was so disappointed. More so for them. It took us a while to get over it and recharge my batteries and be refreshed and go again. And because I was hurting as much as them, but I look at where we were to where we are now, and it's like a million miles away from me. We've come on so much, and we've just got to remember that there's loads of volunteers at this football club that are running it. We're not full time. We haven't got loads of people running the show. We haven't got a ground that we can turn up and do interviews with. That's hence why we're sitting as we are now. We can't take players to the ground and do signings. It is pretty mad. People laugh when I tell them what we actually are, and they don't believe it when you say, what about the ground? What about your office? No, we can't use that. We use it on a match day, and that's it. And that's us. And I describe it, and it's not being disrespectful. I describe us as a club in a van when Gary, the kit man who drives around, and he's got everything in there, all the training gear, everything. And then you've got Danny the physio who's been fantastic. And he comes in his car, and that's it. That's all we've got, unfortunately. And it is a strange club, believe me, but it's so enjoyable. And once we get that dream stadium that we keep hoping for, and fingers crossed we'll get there in the end, and we can then kick on properly.
Brilliant. Alan, thanks so much. And if you are watching this, there's a couple of days left, boost the budget. The best chance we can do is give you what we can, right, as a fan group. So
yeah,
if you put your donation in and you're watching it, put it in. If you haven't done it in the past, stick one in.
That's all I can ask for. As I say, Stuart, without them, we can't play at this level. As I said, we can't compete at this level. We will be in the level below. And I think that's what people have got to understand. The fans have got to understand. I don't care what anyone else says. It's their club. People might have a go. We're constantly saying that you've got the buckets out again. A lot of rubbish. They don't understand the setup here. And there's hundreds of them that are dying to put the money in, and we give them something back on the pitch. That's what they live for. That's their life. And all I can do is thank them as much as possible, because it's fantastic what they do. Without them, we wouldn't be here. That's a certainty.